Just 19.1 miles of scenic coastline separate these two SoCal schools. But today, they're together on the bluff for the PCH Cup. Can the LMU Lions run into the tournament with a season series split? Or will the Pepperdine Waves get a regular season sweep for the second straight year? Welcome inside Gersten Pavilion on this family weekend. Brendan and Gary Craig with you, a family affair at the broadcast table as always, Gary. And we'll talk more about this as the broadcast goes along. But this game has major implications on the WCC tournament seeding for both of these squads.
Yeah, although neither team is happy with the way they performed all season, when it comes to tournament time, anything can happen, so they're positioning to see where they can go heading into the tournament in Vegas.
And let's take a look at today's University Credit Union players to watch, and we've got two star quality players on both sides of the court.
Yeah, absolutely, and if we're starting with Marley Walls for Pepperdine, she just blasted the Lions last time out with 23 points on 6 for 7 from the field, 3 for 3 from three-point line. She also had 6 rebounds and 7 assists. She did it all, and the Lions are going to have to contain her today.
And I think on the other side, Alexis Mark wants to leave the last game against the Waves behind her. What can she do here today that'll propel the Lions to a win?
Well, I think of Alexis Mark as the Lions' Swiss Army knife, and that she does a little bit of everything. And the way she creates turnovers with her length, the way she brings energy with her drive to the bucket, her defense, that's the kind of thing that all the Lions need to do, and I think she leads the way with the way she performs on the court.
There's a lot this Lions squad will need to do to come away with the win today, but what are your three keys, of course, brought to you by TicketSmarter?
So first and foremost, they need to control the boards. I know I say it every game in various different configurations, but they cannot let Pepperdine dominate them on the boards the way they did in the prior game. Second, they need to prevent easy shots. The Lions are not a team that scores a lot of points, so they can't give up a lot of points. You don't want to allow open shots. You don't want to allow easy layups. And related to point number one, don't allow offensive rebounds and putbacks. And then finally, something we've talked about often is the defensive energy. When the Lions are playing aggressively on the defensive end, contesting shots, trying to pick up steals, not fouling, then they have a better chance to put up a W today.
Well, and this place is hopefully going to be packed on family weekend, and that may propel this squad to an energetic start. We shall see. There's going to be emotion. There's going to be intensity. There will only one team reigning supreme on the Pacific Coast after today. Grab that popcorn, get the candy, buckle those seatbelts. It's almost time for the Waves and the Lions. Coming up next.
We are the WCC. We are fueled by the conviction to achieve goals without boundaries. We recognize and we adapt. We welcome adversity. We are Presidential Medal of Freedom winners, NBA champions, Olympic gold medalists, record breakers, and difference makers. We create change, and we create champions. We are the West Coast Conference.
Brendan and Gary Craig with you on Family Weekend and Black History Month Celebration Day. Got an exciting one coming up. We're taking a look at the starting lineups here as they're brought out to the court. Gary, must-win game is something that you hear a lot. Normally doesn't have much meaning. I do think today is a must-win game for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, it's a rivalry game. Second of all, they already lost one to Pepperdine, so the Lions are looking to get even on that. And then now you're building towards a tournament. Has to do with seeding, has to do with momentum, has to do with positioning yourself to make that run in the tournament where you start basically over from scratch, but your seeding does make a difference.
And taking a look at your starting lineups brought to you by Cedar Sinai for the Lions. Start things off a little bit of a different lineup here today. It's going to be Nicole Rodriguez, the junior guard out of Eastvale, California. She's joined for the first time this season in the starting lineup, another senior, number 25, Aspen Adams. Rounding things out is going to be number 32, Ari Johnson at the guard. And going down low, number 34, the senior, Kari Clark, and the junior, number 35, Alexis Mark. Flip it over to the other side, take a look at the Waves and their starting lineup. A very different starting lineup, we'll talk about it in a moment. A very short bench for this squad, so a very different look for this Waves team. The rest of Grace Mabanifo is going to start off at the forward position. Joining her down low is going to be the 6'2 freshman, Drea Brumfield. Another forward, the 5'10 junior, number 10, Jane Waba. The only true guard on the floor for this Wave squad starting the off is the transfer out of Bucknell, number 12, Marley Walls. And rounding out the starting lineup is going to be the forward, number 15, Becky Obima. And Gary, you mentioned it, this starting lineup for the Waves has 3 players clocking in over 6 foot.
Yeah, that's a big starting lineup. Now, they've got some strong players who are out of the lineup. We've got, Friend and Stedman, along with, also Amosa, not here today, not active. So it's really going to put some pressure on those remaining Waves players. They're big, and that's an advantage. But the disadvantage is how are those bigs going to keep up with the quicker Lions?
Well, and you mentioned one that's out, but there are 5 players total out of this Waves lineup today. We'll go through them real quick. Haley Johnson, the freshman, out. Isabella Montoya, the redshirt junior, out. Helena Friend, the sophomore, who's been playing rather well for this Wave squad, out. Malia Amoso, who you mentioned, out. And one of the biggest ones, Allie Stedman, who was out the last time the Lions faced the Waves in Malibu, had come back and had been having an absolute tear in the time she was back. Played in that BYU game, was a big part of it, but today is not suited up to play.
So it's really an interesting dynamic because on the one hand, you'd say the Lions have a distinct advantage. They're for the first time the team with the deeper bench. They've got more players. They've got their starters available. But sometimes when a team is down, players like the Waves are, they've only got 8. They're scrappy. So I really think this is setting up as an interesting game. Walls, to me, is the key. As she goes, so go the Waves. She's really the only guard with any experience on their team. I think the Lions need to key on her, keep her locked out from easy shots, and really tire her out. Because after that, the only other guard on the roster that's available, by my count, is Haley Huff, a freshman, who doesn't typically get as much time.
And I left one inactive off there. Kendall Carson, probably out for the remainder of the season after having some surgery on her arm. So another strong guard for this squad who's not going to be able to come off the bench. It's going to be interesting to see if the Lions can capitalize on that short bench. We've seen it plenty of times with this Lions squad all season. We'll see if they can turn the tables the other way as the tip is away, and it's controlled by the Waves.
That's backcourt.
It is backcourt.
I think Obima just lost sense of exactly where she was on the court, gave it up to another player and got called for backcourt. But look, if you're just able to see this, it's height versus speed. That's the lineup right now.
A bit of a miscommunication, we'll call it, in the jerseys. Lions normally wearing their Black History Month social justice jerseys on this day, but instead today they'll wear their red as the Waves are in their road navies. Marley Walls takes it the other way, blocked out by Rodriguez, and that's going to stay Waves ball. So the Waves working right to left on your screen in the navy blue uniforms with the white numbers, Lions, and their road reds at home
so
with the white numbers.
Here you'll see Nicole Rodriguez from behind.
It's actually Aspen Adams getting an arm in there and swatting that away.
Yeah, and you'll see that the Waves came out in the zone. Not surprising given that they're short on the bench. The Lions are coming out man-to-man. Good backdoor by Walls, though.
She'll drive inside. That shot short into the hands of Clark.
One of our keys is controlling the boards. Good job that time not allowing an offensive rebound.
Lions, of course, led by second-year head coach Erica Hughes. On the Wave side, they've got Brian Rosario in as the acting head coach. Kristen Dowling has been out just before the last time these two teams met, and Rosario's been leading the Waves through that time. 2 wins and a big one at BYU that we'll talk about as we go along today.
Both teams coming out, a little cold to start things out. Not all that surprising.
Oh,
that's a charge.
Drives the shoulder into Clark and sends it the other way.
Really interesting to keep an eye on this, right? With that short bench, if the Waves get in foul trouble, where are they going to go? You'll see the play here. Kari Clark with good position. A little bit of Hollywood, too, to go with it, but she got the call.
Wouldn't be Los Angeles without it. On the Lions side, as we speak of the inactives, no one inactive on their bench. We'll see what the rotation ends up being, but obviously Cassie Gordon not getting the start. She's going to come off the bench and lead that second unit.
And she could definitely be a spark plug off the bench. So the Waves looked like to switch back to a man-to-man defense.
Work the clock down to 10 as Clark looks to go to work, and she has it stripped away by the Waves. Here comes Walls. A little bit of a light jog on the fast break.
Good recovery by the Lions, and that light jog gave them a chance.
One thing the Lions have struggled with is getting back onto the defensive end. They often put up the one shot, and the other team's off to the races. As Brumfield fires a 3, high bounce into the hands of Obima. Jump ball is called. It's Lions ball.
So, that's an occasion when you got to box out, right? Obima's strong on the boards. Waba's strong on the boards. Lions lucky to get that back on the possession arrow.
Well, one thing Coach talked about on this last road trip was the difference in that San Diego game when players like Nicole Rodriguez, Ari Johnson, Cassie Gordon from the guard position were crashing the boards, both on the offensive and defensive end. It made a huge difference. Gordon and Rodriguez, as Mark tosses it out to Rodriguez for a 3, can't hit. Good box out by Waba, but it was a big difference in that game. They had combined for 7 rebounds in the first half, and it kept the Lions tight in that game. They weren't giving up second chance points, which has been an Achilles heel for this squad all year long.
And if you're boxing out on the bigs, the guard's got to come in and pick up the rebounds. Nice play that time.
Mabanifo, the circus shot over Johnson. Rodriguez, another 3, same spot. This time she'll hit.
That was pure. And the way they're doing their zone is sort of like a trapping zone. That's going to leave a player open. The Lions just have to find the player who's open, and that time it was Rodriguez, and she converted. Rodriguez should stick with Walls. Do not let her get free for an open shot.
Brumfield looking to work inside to Obima, and a foul's called on Clark.
A little bit of a reach in.
Your officials today are Michael Murray, Corey Long, and Sydney Mott. See the entrance of Cassie Gordon and Amaya Oliver.
So even more athleticism now coming in for the Lions.
When you think about it, that was 3 minutes that all these players on the court have been going up and down, and now you got Cassie Gordon and her Energizer Bunny legs coming off the bench. Should give a spark.
And Amaya Oliver is a very active big too, so I think that's a good substitution for the Lions. Cassie Gordon draws the Walls defensive assignment.
Also, to dump it off to Mabanifo. She'll drive down the lane, off the glass. No good. Foul's called, and it's going to be on Mark.
That looked like a bailout foul call. I'd like to see the replay. Let's see if she makes contact.
Asking you shall receive. Here it is. Definitely made contact. Kind of both met at the same point. Could have gone either way.
I think that would have been a good no call.
Dresser Grace Banifo is transfer out of Cornell, and at Cornell was an Ivy League All-League honorable mention in the 21-22 season. Led Cornell in points, rebounds, blocks, and field goal percentage in her senior year.
It's a good pickup for the Waves.
Grad transfer, one final year of eligibility, and she's making it count here in Malibu. Good find by Johnson. Mark can't finish.
Really good job of Johnson penetrating the top level of the zone. I think the Lions will be content to have Waba running point. It's not her usual spot.
10 seconds on the shot clock. Crowd counts down. Marley Walls inside. Kick to Brumfield. She'll have to get a shot off. She won't. It's deflected by Johnson. Johnson the dump off to Mark, and they'll have to reset at the top. Johnson the pump fake. Puts up a shot. Can't get it to fall.
So this is the most time we've seen Ari Johnson get in consecutive minutes in quite a few games. Good job creating the steal. Had a fast break, just weren't able to convert, but they have the ball now.
Take a look at it again. Johnson, a good drive inside. Caught Mabanifo kind of skirting off her back leg. Mark heads to the bench. Johnson heads to the line.
So already you've seen quite a few subs for the Lions, none for the Waves. Definitely going to test their conditioning.
First one is good for Johnson. And those players on the bench for the Waves, Haley Hoff, averaging 4.9 minutes. Rosemary Odabumi, averaging 6.3. And the player with the most minutes average is KK Brody at 12.6 minutes. So combined, if my math is right, we're nearing in the neighborhood of 22 minutes combined between those three players.
Yeah, and they're losing Stedman, who was at 33, Amosas, who was 25. So they're really short. And Friend was also getting 21.
Whistle blown, it's going to be on the ground. It's going to be on Oliver. This is going to be a physical game down low. It always is when it comes to Obinma. It always is when it comes to Mabanifo. They're just physical bigs down low, and the Lions are as well. They're handing it back and forth, and the Lions just have to be careful with the ticky-tack.
Yeah, Destiny Samuel now matched up on Walls.
Surprised Walls didn't take it.
A lot of foul calls. A lot of foul calls. Seems like, not that much contact is drawing a foul here.
In fact, I'm surprised it wasn't on Obinma with a little push.
I think Coach Hughes is asking for some clarification. There's been some active whistles so far. 4 fouls already on the Lions, less than halfway through the first quarter.
5-4 here early. Lions lead, 5:30 and counting to go in this first quarter. A lot on the line here for both these squads. Malaba pulls up for a jumper, no good. Mabanifo over the back. Are they going to call a foul?
That has to be over the back.
It is.
And if that's 2 on Mabanifo, she's in trouble, right? Foul trouble.
It is the second on Mabanifo.
So they got to sub her out.
So
that's a big change.
Odabumi will come into the game. Rosemary Odabumi averaging 1.7 points on the season, 2.1 rebounds. Certainly a big difference when it comes to production between Mabanifo and Odabumi, but
some other players are going to need to step up for the Waves.
Exactly what I was going to say. Johnson, a wide open 3, held it,
Why did they
hesitated.
Well, I don't know why there was a rush. Still was 15 seconds on the shot clock.
Ball dumped in to Obinma, an easy bucket, and the Waves retake the lead.
Those are the kind of shots that I think Coach Hughes is trying to avoid, right? Those transition layup opportunities.
Rodriguez, the pull-up 3 is good.
Nice shot.
Nicole Rodriguez has become a star-studded shooter for this Lions squad, and she's shown it here early. 6 points for the junior.
Yeah, and she's been picking up steam as the season's progressed. She's also doing a good job on defense, keeping Walls under wraps. Good defense.
Waba off the iron.
I like it when the Lions push the pace.
Rodriguez draws the defense in. Clark can't hit the baseline jumper.
That was a little short. I think she hesitated, maybe not expecting to be as open as she was. She denying the ball. Rodriguez trying to keep it out of Wall's hands.
Ball's down to Obinma. Brumfield from way outside. No
I'd
good.
say give her that shot. That's not really her strong suit.
Lions reset up top. I think Rodriguez. Oh, wide open. Kari Clark down low. And in the bucket it goes.
Confusion on the part of the Waves. Good to see that. And already the Lions are playing much better than they did in the first quarter up at Malibu. They were down 22-11 at the end of that first quarter.
And we're going to see the last of the Waves subs into the game at the next dead ball after the media timeout. And that's just what we're going to be seeing all day with the short bench that they have. Obima working on Clark. It's Waba now. Her three off the mark.
What's the call? What was the call?
A very late call on Destiny Samuel by Sydney Mott.
By the time that foul was called, Destiny Samuel was past the half-court line. Let's see. I didn't see it.
Hard to see it there. Media timeout. We'll step aside. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to Gerson Pavilion. A tough call going the Waves' way will give them ball out of bounds on the baseline. 10-6 here early on Black History Month, Family Weekend. Lots going on here in Gerson. Waves with their two subs in. Haley Hoff and KK Brody gets the pass off the baseline. Can't get the bucket to go. Whistle blown, foul called on Otabumi.
You could see the contact to the head of Alexis Mark, and Alexis Mark had good position on a box out. Hopefully you'll see it right here.
KK Brody almost with the quickest difference maker I've ever seen coming off the bench, and 2 seconds into the game almost had a bucket. Lions look to extend their 4-point lead here on this possession. Clark on the cold legs of KK Brody, and Clark gets it to go.
Good strong move, too. Quite a difference from the prior shot she took where it was more of a fadeaway and sort of soft.
KC takes KK to the hole.
Look at the help from Clark.
Miscommunication, and they're going to call the foul on Marley Walls.
I like the help by Clark, the active feet by Rodriguez to get out there to get the loose ball. Shots.
And I understand the Waves coaching staff frustrated with that call because Marley Walls had no idea what was happening, but Nicole Rodriguez going straight for the ball, Marley Walls right in her path.
Yeah.
It's going to be a foul on Walls.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like she intended to commit the foul, but she certainly impeded Rodriguez's progress.
Both teams in the bonus now, so it's free throws the rest of the way through this first quarter. 2:35 to go. Rodriguez at the line. She struggled from the line this season, Gary. Normally a place she shoots very well.
Well, it's really a mystery because she's improved her three-point shooting. But, maybe she needs to take a few steps back on this next free throw.
No, honestly.
So what we
is
also...
that legal? A genuine question.
I think it might be.
Could you shoot the free throw as long as you're behind the line? Does it matter where you shoot it?
It's a great question. We'll have to get our crack stats team to look that up. In the meantime, Alexis Mark is quiet so far. One of our players to watch.
Waba, bit of space, but taken away by Rodriguez. They're going to say it's Wade ball.
Rodriguez was trying to say it went off Waba's foot, but the refs thought otherwise.
Rodriguez will get a much-deserved break. Sequoia Almond into the game.
And now Sequoia Almond has to stay on walls the way Rodriguez was.
And we've seen Almond in limited minutes since coming back from her injury. We'll see how long she can stay in today. Hoff looks off the three. One second.
Shot.
They won't
No
get it
shot.
off.
Oh, I didn't think they made it.
I didn't either. Either way they throw it away, it's going to be Lion ball. 12-6, 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. .80 run for the Lions over the last 2:53.
Alexis Mark should take her.
Mark goes up and is fouled by Odabumi.
So I'm not sure that was really a foul, but from the ref's position, it looked like she went over the top. That's going to be 2 on her as well. So 2 of the important players for the Waves are in foul trouble.
Take a look at it again. 2 high school teammates. Yeah, I got her on the arm. 2 high school teammates going at it. We saw Alexis get to play against Amanda Olinger from San Diego, teammate at Sierra Canyon. Now gets to play against Rosemary Odabumi, another teammate from Sierra Canyon.
Look at the height right now. I think it's 6'2". They got 3 players 6'2" or taller on the Waves right now.
KK Brody, 6'3". Becky Obima, 6'2". Andrea Brumfield, 6'2". If we get Mabanifil back in here, we'll have another.
I think Mabanifil's got to sit. She's got 2 fouls. They're just not giving Walls any space to operate.
She killed the Lions last game. She's been killing teams all season. We're not going to let her do it, at least in this first quarter. Obima, step back, travel.
So again, Lions played really good defense, made the Waves work deep in the shot clock. We often see the Lions being forced to do it on offense. It's nice to have that flip.
14-6, 1:22 to go, a 10-0 run in the last 3.5 minutes, and we see these spurts of energy out of the gun for the Lions sometimes. They either come out real slow or they come out real hot. Problem is, it doesn't always stay consistent through the remainder of the game. Will that be different today?
Yeah, and it's not even that they've been playing all that extraordinarily well, but the defense has been good and the Waves have not been able to do much. Oh, forced turnover by Cassie Gordon.
1 minute to go. Walls feeds inside to Obima. Brody now disrupted by Mark. Waba the board and a foul. I couldn't begin to tell you who it's going to be on.
Yeah, but see, that's Lions gave that up, right? They didn't box out Waba, and that created this second chance.
It's going to be on Aspen Adams and send Waba to the line. Jane Waba, local kid out of Carson, California, from the line, 61% on the season. Waba's first is good, brings the Waves within 7.
So, you know, the Waves are about 18% from the field, 2 for 11, 0 of 3 from 3, and yet they're right in this game. They're going to have to be pretty pleased with that at this stage.
Lions really pushing down the court fast. Still plenty of time. It's tipped out of bounds. It'll stay Lion ball. It's interesting to see the moments that the Lions choose to really play with pace as opposed to setting up their offense, Gary.
Yeah, I think they're doing it as much as they can.
Gordon, the signature pull-up, no good. It's tipped into the hands of Almond, and the Lions get a second chance.
Shortest player on the court comes down with the board.
Good passing, leaves Mark inside. She's fouled by Obima. That's 2 on Becky Obima.
So there's fouls all over the place for the Waves on their front line.
5 fouls, make it 6 for the Waves, 6 for the Lions, 12 fouls here in this first quarter.
I thought Odabume had 2, but the stats are showing 1, so we'll have to see what that is.
Mark's first, no good, and we talked to Coach this morning at shoot-around. One thing that she said they focused on was free throw shooting. They were shooting really well to start the season. It was a nice turnaround, but as it's trickled on, it has not gone well. She's hoping to see them around 76% today.
Well, they're right at that right now. I think they're going to be at about 75.
About a 2-second difference between game and shot clock. Waves in theory, will be able to get the last shot off here in the first. Waba fires early and converts.
So Lions go quick. They got a shot here.
10 on the game clock. Shot clock turned off. 3 seconds. Gordon from the corner. No good. That sends us into the break with the Lions leading by 5. 15-10 here through the first. 3 more fun quarters coming up next. Waba ends it with a bucket. Back into Gerson, you see Grace Mabanifo back on the court. Excuse me, Teresa Grace Mabanifo back on the court, joined by Becky Obima.
Both with 2 fouls, so certainly acting coach Rosario is taking some risk here.
I mean, how long could you go without Teresa Grace Mabanifo, leading scorer on the court behind Marley Walls?
They're only down 5, you know, so if they get their third here in the first minute or 2 of the second quarter, they're going to have to sit the rest of it. So it is a risky move.
Scratch that, Mabanifo, leading scorer that's active for the Waves today. Ali Stedman leads the way 15, Mabanifo 12, and Marley Walls 11.6. Sydney Mott tells Clark and Obima to lay off the pushing before the ball's even thrown in. 6 on the shot clock, Mabanifo.
Well, that's why she's in. She delivers immediately. New look 1-2-2 defense. See if the Lions can figure it out.
Adams wanted the 3, instead it's Clark. Now Samuel, her own 3 off the top of the backboard, not a good shot.
Yeah, that's just not the one you want out of that defensive set that the Waves were in.
Walls steps her way into a foul. It'll be on Adams, that's 2. Little shimmy shake got Adams out of her seat and right into the lap of Walls. Noelle Yancey gets her first minutes of the game.
So if you're the Waves and you're down 3 and Walls has yet to scratch, well, you got to be incredibly happy with this. The Lions, on the other hand, should be very frustrated that they have not been able to capitalize.
Rodriguez disrupts the offense for a moment. Samuel comes in sky high, almost stole that ball away.
Is that Mabanafo's third on the kick? It is. That's the risk. It's a risk-reward business. She converted for the 2 on the reward. She's not going to come back in this quarter.
And that's a tough foul, certainly unintentional, but a foul nonetheless.
And that was created, though, by the aggressive defense with both Ari Jensen and Nicole Rodriguez looking for that steal.
Well, it won't show up in the stat book, but the amount of Lions that got a hand on the ball during that defensive possession was at least 3 or 4.
Also,
Samuel, Rodriguez, Johnson. As Rodriguez from the top of the key, make it 3.
So I think Obima's at the top in part to try and disrupt the threes, but Rodriguez had none of that.
3 for 4 from downtown for Nicole Rodriguez, and she's got the Lions out to a 6-point lead.
The Lions could do something here if they can put a string of stops together.
Waba inside to Obima, another foul.
That's going to be 3 on Obima. Risk reward. She lowered her shoulder. That's a legit foul call. So she's still in the game. I don't know if coach has realized it yet because he's still talking to the official.
Well, the real question is, who are you going to put in for Obima right now? You can't put Mabanifo back in.
I think you have.
Odabumi's got 2,
yeah, but
and Haley Hoff.
You can't have Obima get her 4th in the first half. I think you got to go with Odabumi.
And he will. Rodriguez, another 3.
Heat
This one
check.
off the mark.
Heat check.
Certainly a heat check.
Again, despite all of this, the Waves only down 6.
Marley Walls inside, no good.
Great rebound by Alexis Mark.
Mark over to Rodriguez, looks off the 3, will take this one. It's short.
Oh, Clark. She was coming in for a rebound, but she didn't really have a chance at it. Better off letting it go and getting back on defense.
Second personal, second team foul. Odabumi back in, Obima takes a seat.
So I think the Waves only have 2 typical starters on the floor probably for the rest of this quarter, and let's see if the Lions can take advantage of it. I think Walls is wondering where that game was when they were up in Malibu when she went off for 23.
Oh, Swaba pulls up from the elbow,
off.
no good. That ball's batted somehow back in the hands of Waba.
How is that possible?
Blocking foul called on Rodriguez.
So that was a foul. Rodriguez was trying to go above the screen, and there wasn't enough room. So, you know, it's going to happen. I don't have a problem with that foul. See that right there? She didn't have room, so it made contact.
First personal, 13 foul. It's Pepperdine basketball for the baseline.
Brownfield a 3.
Again, I had said this before, it's not really her shot, but I think that might be her second 3.
Clark inside, fouled by Brody.
We're getting a lot of fouls in this game.
Whistles are a plenty.
First personal, 13 foul. Substitute for number 32, Ollie Johnson.
Johnson back in the game. Yancey takes a seat.
At the line for number 34, Connor Clark. Shoot 2.
Clark's first is good. On the season, 78.6 from the line. You want to talk about an improvement from the line. She's one player that has grown over the last 4 years from the charity stripe.
Definitely.
Knocks down the second, didn't jinx it. Can't blame me
I
on
was
that
a little
one.
worried.
Me too. You are not alone on that one.
So Rodriguez has stepped up to the challenge so far, guarding Walls.
Walls no points so far. Waba, she'll drive inside. That one falls out. Long rebound to the hands of Walls.
The number of times now in this quarter the Waves have gotten second chances. They really call that on Rodriguez?
Yes, sir.
That's two. So foul trouble is now not limited to the Waves, though they're in more extreme foul trouble with the two starters having 3 apiece.
Kick ball on Mark will keep it on the Waves baseline for another chance here. 6:17 to go. Lions lead by 5. Give the Waves credit. They're hanging in there real tough with foul trouble, bench trouble. Got just about everything against them in this one.
Absolutely, and as well as they're hanging in there, the Lions are not capitalizing. Great
spin move to the cup. No good. Brody the follow-up, though.
So that's the second chance opportunities. The Lions, despite having all perceived advantages so far, are only up 3, and the Waves are scrappy and fighting.
And you can hear and see the energy from both benches. Every bucket, every possession, they're up, they're loud. And they're going to be loud for that one from Clark for sure.
Again, let's see what these next 5:40 in this quarter bring. Lions should be looking to get up by double digits before this quarter's over. That's third.
Called for the foul.
So when you got 2 fouls like that, you got to let it go. She's now going to be on the bench the rest of the half.
It's going to bring Ava Toon into the game as well as Sequoia Almond. And it's the same calls on both sides. They're getting over these players and they're calling a foul for it.
Yeah, I think they're calling it even. The stats that's jumping out at me right now is that the Waves have 14 rebounds. The Lions have 7.
Brody's free throw off the mark, and just as you talk about the rebounds, and another foul is called.
So when you are the defensive team on the free throw line, you should never lose out on the rebound. Compounding the problem, another foul.
It's going to be Mark's second team limit in the quarter, so Boomy converts on
look
the
at
first.
this, Brendan. They may be 1 point down now. I was talking about the Lions should try and get ahead by double digits. Now they're going to need to avoid getting down in the score.
Boomy can't convert the second, keeps it a 1-possession game. A 2-point lead. .5:10 to go as we near the media timeout. Johnson being kept outside very well by this Wave squad. Mark the board though, she'll go up, rejected by Brody in a late whistle.
So originally I think it was a block, but then Brody's body fell into Alexis Mark, and I think that's what caused the foul call.
That's going to bring us to the media timeout. Free throws for Alexis Mark. When we come back, it's a chippy one already, and we still got 25 minutes to go. Back here, 4:59 to go in the first quarter. Brendan and Gary Craig for the PCH Cup rivalry. Alexis Mark to the line now where she'll be shooting two. And something that I think both these teams want to forget is the chippiness from the last matchup, but it's certainly going to play a factor here as the refs are going to be watching this a lot closer.
Yeah, and, rivalry games amp up the emotions a little bit. What I'm thinking about right now is the Lions need to bring the kind of energy that the Waves are bringing. And we talked about this at the beginning. Sometimes when you have a short bench, you get scrappy, and the Waves are doing that. They're only down 4, and I think they've outplayed the Lions given the resources available to them.
Mark converts both, puts the Lions back to a 4-point lead. Certainly not a comfortable spot by any stretch of the imagination. Toon, good defense down low.
That was over the bat.
And it is Odubumi.
That's 3.
So the board's still only showing 1. So
my mistake.
I'm right there with you. They may have changed the foul earlier. I'm not sure.
There's 23 total fouls been called so far. That's a lot.
So that's the team limit there. Sends Johnson to the line. So the bench right now on both sides really littered with folks in foul trouble. Obima, 3 fouls. Vanderfo, 3 fouls. Odubumi, 2 fouls. Brody's got 2 on the court. Mark's got 2 on the court. Rodriguez, 2. Clark with 3. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, and Amaya Oliver picked up 2 fouls in about a minute and 30 seconds of action,
and
right?
We haven't seen her since. Johnson's 2 are good. 6-point lead for the Lions. 4:44 to go in this first half.
But again, if there's going to be a lot of fouls, the Lions are better positioned to weather that given their deeper bench. So you see the Lions trying to play aggressive denial defense. Ava Toon working on Brody.
Waba, step back 2. Off the mark.
Good job by Toon keeping Brody away from that rebound.
A good pull-up.
So the Lions are on a bit of a run here. They've now stretched the lead from, it was 4 to 8.
Once all the way down to 2.
And they have a chance, like I was asking, for them to get up by double digits going into halftime.
Marley Walls, Jane Waba have not seen a second of break. Played all 16 and some change minutes in this one so far.
And they're going to have to, the way the foul trouble is depleting the players available.
Waba rejected by Mark. Brody, a couple second chance opportunities.
Yeah, and again, that's probably going to be my biggest pet peeve of this game so far is the offensive boards that the Lions have allowed.
Sequoia Almond pushing the pace, giving the Lions a lot of energy. She fires a 3 and it finds the bottom of the bucket.
It's nice to see her drain one. She hasn't gotten many to go down.
31-22, 9-point lead for the Lions. Walls looks to answer, cannot. Whistle blown, fouls called. It's going to be on Mark.
Is it? If that is, then I think she's going to be in 3 fouls. Again, that's just about as bad as giving up the offensive rebound because now Waba gets them free throws.
You can see, yep.
Yeah, that was a
got
clear
her
foul.
on.
That's not the ideal way to box out. You got to get in front of the player.
I'm not sure it would qualify as boxing out.
Trying to be diplomatic. It's frustrating because Alexis Mark has the athleticism to get in front of Waba and push her back with her body and not get caught for a foul.
Waba 2 for 2 brings Amaya Oliver back in the game. Ava Toon takes a seat. 31-24, 3:05 to go. Odubumi back in the game as well.
If you had told me that Marley Walls would have 0 points, the Lions would only be up 7, I'd be surprised.
Oliver sets the high screen. Brumfield works around it. So Oliver now mishandles the dribble, and the Lions have to reset. They've only got 7 on the shot clock. Down to 5. Oliver down the baseline, up and in.
So good move for her after spending so much time on the bench. Gets right up to the board, scores it.
33-24, 2.5 minutes to go in this second quarter.
Walls trying to post up Sequoyama, but she's having none of it.
Brody will instead, can't get the bucket to go. It's batted around, it'll go the Lions' way.
The Waves really crash the boards hard on the offensive end, which means you have to turn around and put a body on someone. You can't just ball watch.
Lions being out-rebounded by 5 right now, 16-11 overall.
But on the offensive glass, 7-2, I think.
It is. Johnson, a little teardrop, and he'll find the bucket as well.
Nice to see her with that floater game coming back.
35-24, Lions' largest lead of the game thus far.
That's what I wanted, is go up by double digits. They call that on Samuel, a little too aggressive in post position.
I mean, and the Lions have to know by now, although both these teams like to play aggressive, they can't play that way right now with the way this game is being officiated.
I agree, but on that one, I mean, Samuel wasn't using her hands. He was just trying to defend position down low. I agree with you that the calls are coming quick, but it's not sure exactly what she should have done differently other than let her just go straight to the bucket. Odabume does a good job getting position, though.
Odabume looks to bring it to single digits here. They have just over 140 to go. She cannot. Ball into the hands of Johnson. It'll be jump ball.
Quick jump ball. Again, I'd like the Lions to look at film of Waba, how she goes for the offensive boards.
Toon back in the game for the Lions. Gordon a 3. And she'll knock it down.
That was smooth. I like that shot by Cassie Gordon. I also like the 13-point lead.
That 3 brings the crowd to some form of life here in Gersten. Walls, what a pass to Brody, and a finish for the and one.
So, you said it. That was a spectacular find and a perfect pass. Walls is contributing even if she's not scoring.
Take a look again. Thought the play was over. Nope. Marley Walls finding the open player.
Hey, let's give some credit to Brody. I think her season average is 2.6, and she's now got 9 with that free throw.
KK Brody, the freshman out of Columbia, Missouri.
So some freshmen getting some pretty good run here because of the depleted bench and showing up strong. So I don't know if either coach expected to have these particular lineups on the court, but the foul trouble has necessitated some adjustments.
Yeah, absolutely. Walls down the lane, blocking foul called on Johnson.
So Walls may get her chance to score here from the line.
Phil Jones, number 32, Harley Johnson, her first. At the line of number 9, number 12, Harley Long, shooting 2 free throws.
Walls can't hit the first, still blanked in the points column. We'll look for her first bucket of the evening right now. And there it is, first point for Marley Walls. Again, contributing in other places, 4 rebounds, 4 assists for the grad transfer out of Bucknell. Stutter step from Samuel. Toon from the free throw line, rattles around and into the hands of the Waves.
And the Waves are controlling the defensive boards, not allowing the Lions any second chance opportunities. Lions with 3 total second chance points to 12 for the Waves.
Waba's pass deflected out of bounds by Samuel. Waves will get another shot at it. 6-second difference between game and shot clock, and we'll see the entrance for the first time since, good Lord, maybe the end of December for Layla Curry.
Hey, if you're going to get your folks back, now is the time with the tournament coming up. So I really want to make sure that Layla Curry does not leave Marley Walls with this last 25 seconds left in the half.
A defensive spark for this team is Layla Curry, and coach trying to light a fire here in the final 20 of the first half. Walls inside, fouled by Curry. And a technical has been called as well on Samuel.
What did she get the technical for? Was she arguing?
Yeah, I think so.
Can't lose your composure like that.
Bill Jefferson, number 23, Layla Carey, their first personal.
That's an unfortunate way to get to the end of this half when the Lions had a chance to get that double-digit lead.
So that's her third personal as well. It counts in the personal column.
And that's just something that the Lions have to do a better job of keeping their composure in these chippy games.
Walls can't hit the first. She's struggling from the field today, but still a whole nother half of basketball. And Marley Walls certainly has put them up in a single half before. Second is good.
Let's keep in mind that the Waves have been doing this without Obima, without Labanifo for basically the entire second quarter. And they're down, but they're well within striking distance. These are just free points. She has a chance to make basically a three-point play out of this. And they get the ball. What was a 13-point lead is now down to 6. 7-0 run.
One foul and a technical back-to-back put the Lions in a tough place.
Waves can get the last shot and cut this lead all the way down potentially to 3.
Odabumi inside, no good. Brody the follow and the finish. At the half, Lions only up by 4. We'll talk with Coach Hughes in just a moment. LMU men's and women's basketball season tickets are on sale now. Come join the Pride on the Bluff and get yours today at lmulions.com/tickets. Lots of exciting games coming up. Conference play is about to get underway for the men, and it's already cooking for the ladies. We'll see you in just a little bit. Get those season tickets online, lmulions.com/tickets. Energy, a lot of heart going into this game. Feels like the emotions getting the best of them. How can you guys translate that into your offensive, defensive performance here in the second half?
We're just keeping our hands to ourselves. Both teams right now are in foul trouble. I know Pepperdine is, so are we. We have to be much smarter. I think we're doing the best that we can on the boards. This is the leading rebounding team in the conference, so Pepperdine does what they do. I think we're trying to make it difficult, but we got to make sure we have key players in the game.
Coach, we'll let you get in the locker room. We'll see you at the end.
Thank you.
That was Coach Hughes at the half. We'll be back with more in just a moment. You're watching LMU Women's Basketball, the WCC Network.
At University Credit Union, we're a different kind of financial institution because we were founded over 70 years ago by the university community for the university community. Our experts put our member owners first by offering personalized advice on savings and investing and competitive loan rates to help you on your financial journey. Bank with your brain and get a financial advantage because you deserve more than a bank. You deserve a partner committed to your financial success. Learn more and join today at ucu.org.
Get great seats, safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. Choose great seats from over 125,000 live events, all backed with a TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Get your tickets smarter at ticketsmarter.com.
Lions are going to finish things out here on the Bluff to end the season. They've got Santa Clara on Thursday at 7 p.m. and then senior night here next Saturday. Game changed to 4 p.m. was originally 2 p.m. Mark those calendars up. Come and celebrate. We got 5 fabulous seniors on the court and even more on the managerial staff. Then it's off to Vegas. The WCC tournament Lions are locked into play on Thursday, so we'll see them there starting March 2nd. It's your upcoming schedule. We'll see you back here on the Bluff in just a moment.
At Cedars-Sinai, we're right here for Los Angeles. Here for Cedars-Sinai, proud to be #1 in California and #2 in the nation.
At University Credit Union, we're a different kind of financial institution because we were founded over 70 years ago by the university community for the university community. Our experts put our member owners first by offering personalized advice on savings and investing and competitive loan rates to help you on your financial journey. Bank with your brain and get a financial advantage because you deserve more than a bank. You deserve a partner committed to your financial success. Learn more and join today at ucu.org.
Get great seats, safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. Choose great seats from over 125,000 live events, all backed with a TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Get your tickets smarter at ticketsmarter.com.
Lions are going to finish things out here on the Bluff to end the season. They've got Santa Clara on Thursday at 7 p.m. and then senior night here next Saturday. Game changed to 4 p.m. was originally 2 p.m. Mark those calendars up. Come and celebrate. We got 5 fabulous seniors on the court and even more on the managerial staff. Then it's off to Vegas. The WCC tournament Lions are locked into play on Thursday, so we'll see them there starting March 2nd. It's your upcoming schedule. We'll see you back here on the Bluff in just a moment. And welcome back at the half. Lions lead by 4, but Gary, this was a very different score. Maybe 20 seconds to go in the first half. What in the world has gone on in this first half?
Yeah, I mean, the Lions had a 13-point lead at the very end of this half, and then just really carelessness and not smart plays cost them. So here we just saw some of the highlights with the Waves converting a bucket early, and then Rodriguez getting hot from 3. Obima down low. That was before she got the 3 fouls and had to sit.
Well, I was going to say, we haven't seen some of these players since these highlights have happened early in the first quarter.
No, and despite that, the Waves are only down 4. I mean, they got to be incredibly proud of themselves, and the Lions got to be kicking themselves. There's Sequoia Almond with a great three-pointer, which was part of that run that got him to a 13-point lead, only to get it down to 4 now as the half closed.
Well, and you talk about a player that's been quiet, Ari Johnson, really, since coming back from that injury, just hasn't had that same spark, that same finesse, should we say, that she had prior.
No, but we did see her with a couple nice shots, a floater. She created a steal. She's getting back into it, and that'll be important as we get into tournament time.
Halftime highlights brought to you by Ticket Smarter. We'll step away one more time. More action in just a few minutes here on the WCC Network.
At Cedars-Sinai, we're right here for Los Angeles. Here for the Cedars-Sinai, proud to be #1 in California and #2 in the nation.
And welcome back to Gerson Pavilion. We got a very good game on our hands all of a sudden. In the last minute, it blossomed into something quite amazing. Let's take a look at some halftime stats. Lions shooting relatively well from the field, 48% to 34, and 42% from downtown as well. Really nice shooting, but it just doesn't seem to be translating in the same ways you'd expect it to.
Well, what's crazy is so many of those stats should have the Lions well out in front, right? They're out shooting the Waves. They're got 10 assists, only 4 turnovers. The problem is those 7 rebound difference largely is on the offensive glass. And in the second quarter, the Lions had 12 fouls called on them, including a technical, and that gave the Waves a chance to go on a 9-0 run in the last minute of the half. And that's why we find ourselves in a much different looking game than we did maybe with 2 minutes left in the half.
Turnovers been relatively quiet for the Lions, which is nice to see. It's felt sloppy at times, but they've kept it contained. About 40 seconds left in halftime. What do you want to see from the Lions out of the gate here in the second half?
They got to get the offensive rebounds to stop for the Waves. The Waves had 14 second chance points. That has to stop immediately. They got to stop playing defense with their hands and play with their feet because the refs are calling fouls. You know that. You have to adjust. You can't expect the refs to change the way they're doing it.
Well, and we talked about it, and we heard the officials discuss it prior to the game. After the last game between these two teams, technicals were handed out like candy on Halloween. There was plenty of chippiness. They're trying to keep this game contained from the get-go, and we've seen it. I would think after discussion at halftime, the Lions must adjust their play to how the game is being called. We're going to end up with 3-on-3 by the end of this, the way it's been going.
Absolutely, and both teams come out with players on the court who have 3 fouls, and let's see who's the first to get called for a 4th.
Walls, Mbanifo, Waba, Obima, and Brumfield start for the Waves. Rodriguez, Adams, Clark, Johnson, and Mark for the Lions. 20 more minutes to go here from Gersten. PCH Cup bragging rights on the line as Mark comes up with a steal to start things off. Coast to coast she goes and is blocked by Brumfield.
Good block.
Not fantastic in transition. Banifo down low, fouls called and one. A chance to make it a 1-point lead for the Lions.
So when Mbanifo is on the floor, the Waves are really strong. Problem is she just hasn't been able to play much because of the foul trouble. If she's able to stay out there, the Lions are going to have a hard time.
So 4 players with 3 fouls out on the court. Mark, Clark, Mbanifo, and Obima. 2 players with 2 fouls. That's Rodriguez and Adams, all on the floor to start off the second half. Mbanifos, shot no good. Good box out by Clark down low.
And that's what we want to see. Boxing out, someone else could get the rebound. You just deny Pepperdine's strong rebounders from getting an easy path to the ball.
Clark, the dump out to Mark. It's Adams now with 10 on the shot clock. Clark turns, looks, fade away, no good.
Good defense by Obima with no fouling.
Brumfield again, and the Waves take the lead.
That's a 14-point turnaround from when the Lions had their biggest lead of 13.
Waves haven't led since the first bucket.
Brumfield's got at least 2 threes on the game so far.
Rodriguez looks to answer, and she will. That's 4 threes for Nicole Rodriguez.
Picking up where she left off. Remember, she spent most of the second quarter on the bench with those 2 fouls.
Walls down the lane, kept out by Clark. Scoop shot, no good, into the hands of Obima. No good as well. Waba with the bucket. The rebound and the foul.
So again, that's really the Achilles heel for the Lions in this game has been the Waves on the offensive glass. And the Coach Hughes talked about at halftime, they're the best rebounding team in the conference. So you know they're going to get theirs. It just can't be that easy.
Second personal on Johnson, second team foul already. And we're not even 2 minutes into this third quarter.
Just over the head of Rodriguez on the inbound pass.
Ball inside to Obima. She'll pick up the dribble, can't get the shot to fall.
Alexis Mark has come up with a couple boards so far in this beginning stage of the third.
5 rebounds for Mark.
Who's going to step up for the Lions now? Will it be Rodriguez again from 3?
Maybe Clark from the elbow. Yes, sir.
Got to feel good for her. She's also been spending time on the bench in foul trouble.
Brumfield almost a chance at another 3. They'll reset up top with 20 to go on the shot clock.
Took a moment for the Lions to adjust to the defense Coach Hughes wanted. They're now in a 1-3-1 zone. Good body control by Clark.
Walls down the lane. Pull up 2, rims out. Mabanfo's there and Clark fouls.
So just like that, Clark's going to get her 4th. And it was all created by the aggressiveness on the offensive glass. Now 11 offensive rebounds, 12, sorry. No, 11 offensive rebounds for the Waves to 2 for the Lions.
Adams and Clark take a seat. Gordon and Oliver into the game. Benefo shot off back iron, no good. Usually a near 70% free throw shooter. Today hitting just below that mark. She knocked down the second player out of the North Midwest, we'll call it. Went to the East Coast, now over at the West Coast, getting a tour of the U.S. in her collegiate career for sure. Making a difference in every stop she's had.
Ari Johnson, a little bit of indecision, is able to control the ball.
Down the lane she goes. Circus shot, she's fouled by Nwaba.
And as aggressive as Nwaba is, she's not had a foul until just now. Let's see the replay. Couldn't really see much from this angle.
Johnson at the line. Shots off the mark. Johnson was 100% from the line today. 4 for 4. Make it 4 for 5 now.
So I was about to comment on how she was shooting, and I held my breath, but didn't make a difference.
Not our fault this time.
See how Amaya Oliver is able to do on Becky Obinma down low.
Waba wide open for a 3. Too long. Obinma the easy board. Waves swinging around, another chance from Walls. This one no good either. Another long board and offensive rebound. Brumfield, 3rd time's the charm? No. Lions finally come up with a board. Skip pass to Mark off the glass and in.
Lions slowly building back that lead.
Travels called. Send it back the Lions' way, 46-40, 6:10 to go in the 3rd.
Brody checking back in, and she's actually done an outstanding job filling in for the bigs who've been getting in foul trouble. She's got 11 points.
Now you want to talk about a breakout game for a player. KK Brody having it here tonight against the Lions. And only a freshman.
Nice up and under move.
To the cup and in, Alexis Mark. And that's where she's got to translate that energy, that emotion. Vanifo, fouls called offensively. Send it back the Lions' way, and I think Dresser Grace Vanifo is going to hit the bench with 4 fouls.
So give credit to Ari Johnson for staying strong down low on the much bigger player. I gotta give that props because she really put her body on the line.
Samuel back in the game. Johnson will take a seat. Came up a little bit gimpy after taking that shot. Maybe a little shot to the face.
So Alexis Mark was able to translate, as you said, that energy from the second quarter into this 3rd into points and not foul trouble.
Sequoia Almond into the game for Johnson. Otabumi into the game for Mabanfo.
I don't think Walls has taken a break the whole game.
I don't think so either. Rodriguez shot off the mark, long board in the hands of Waba.
And I don't think Mwaba's been on the bench either.
Brumfield pumps the 3, and the Lions have to respect it now after her 2 from downtown.
Gordon got away with a little bit of hand checking.
Walls down the baseline, stopped up by Almond. Into the key she goes. Still working on Almond, and a foul's called.
So, you know, you got to give credit to Walls for being undeterred. Sequoia Almond played great defense for almost that whole shot clock. And then just a little bit of a reach over by Almond gets her called for the foul. Walls' only points, I believe, have come from the free throw line.
And she can't get that one to go. An off night to this point for Marley Walls, something we have not really seen from her a lot this season.
I think part of it might be that she's being asked to do so much in running the offense that it both takes her away from shooting and also means that she's tired.
And another foul's called on Amaya Oliver as Odabumi hits the deck hard.
But again, when the Lions are on defense and the free throw, they should be able to come away with the rebound.
Media timeout on the floor. Waves shooting free throws when we come back.
Hey fans, did you know National Paint and Trigonometric? That's right. LEDW Paint and other government rebates will save you thousands on the purchase of a new or used electric vehicle. The more you drive, the more you'll save.
I actually think I lied. I don't think they're shooting when we come back. No, I lied. They are shooting when we come back. Back to Gerson Pavilion. Lions lead by 8. Right now the Waves on a scoring drive in the last 2 minutes over their last 7. Lions 4 of their last 5. But again, the success the Lions are having just feels absolutely dwarfed by the way that they are being out-rebounded so drastically.
Yeah, it's really a problem, and I just noticed as of right now, the Waves have 14 offensive rebounds and 15 second chance points to 2 offensive rebounds and 3 second chance points for the Lions. If the Lions lose this game, unless something dramatic changes, that's going to be the reason. Because in all the other statistical categories except for points in the paint, the Lions are ahead.
Odabumi can't hit either free throw. Lions lucky that the Waves are struggling from the line thus far.
Lions looking to run some motion offense.
Johnson, hesitation, spin move off the glass and in.
That's the Ari Johnson of old. 10-point lead for the Lions. How do they handle prosperity? We know how they handle adversity. Can they handle prosperity?
Odabumi pull up from the baseline, rims out. Almost got her own board, no box out.
Yeah, she crashed hard, and that's something they do to a player.
Coach said it in the halftime interview, Waves the best rebounding team in the conference. As Almond hesitated as she had Nwaba streaking in, turns it over.
Rebounding is largely about effort and mentality. Obviously some technical skill in terms of boxing out, but they have the effort, they have the mentality to go for the boards every time.
Brumfield from way outside.
So players are setting, what I expect must be career highs here.
Oh, absolutely.
Brumfield's averaging 1.5 points. She's currently got I think at least 9. A lot of subs will be in next dead ball.
Miscommunication on the Lions side. Gordon recovers.
10 seconds left. They got to get to move here.
She's blocked from behind by Brody, but they'll call a foul.
Yeah, over the back.
Yeah, so Brumfield's career high, 6 points. Last time she hit that career high was against the Lions.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you could check the stats so quickly. I should know these things off the top of my head, but you know, we also have.
If you
Brody.
memorize the rest of the conference's career highs,
what about
I'd be
Brody?
impressed.
What's Brody's career high?
Excuse me, Brody we were looking at.
No, we were looking at, I changed it up. It was Brumfield.
Brody's
now.
career high was 7.
Okay, and she's got already 11. Meanwhile, Cassie Gordon knocks down a shot from the line. Let's give her credit. Lions try and push this lead back to 9.
And Gordon does 9-point lead in the hands of the Lions.
Sequoia Amon putting a little pressure on Marley Walls, make her work even harder, which I think is a good idea. Just don't foul. 90 feet from the bucket. Good communication. There was a push-off, no call.
Brumfield from even further outside. I mean, we're talking Steph Curry range on some of these Drea Brumfield threes.
Yeah, that might have been a bit of a heat check for her.
Adams, one of her own.
And you see there's only blue jerseys in the key for the rebound. Again, Sequoia Amon needs to be careful. Don't commit a foul that far from the bucket.
Amon with 1 foul, one of the few players on the floor with only 1, as I jinx that.
Is that going to be on Aspen Adams for a reach?
It will.
That's free throws.
So still in the bonus here. 2:31 till that resets.
I wonder what the record of foul calls in an LMU women's basketball game is. We are right now up to 38 combined, 24 against the Lions and 14 against the Waves.
Walls first is good, getting her rhythm back on that, potentially.
This will be the 26th free throw shot by the Waves. They've got already 14 of their 44 from the line, now make it 15.
Walls goes 2 for 2, timeout on the floor. It's going to extend to the media timeout. We'll step aside, 52-45, 2:30 to go in the third quarter.
At University Credit Union, we're a different kind of financial institution because we were founded over 70 years ago by the university community for the university community. Our experts put our member owners first by offering personalized advice on savings and investing and competitive loan rates to help you on your financial journey. Bank with your brain and get a financial advantage because you deserve more than a bank. You deserve a partner committed to your financial success. Learn more and join today at ucu.org.
At Cedars-Sinai, we're right here for Los Angeles. Here for the Sinai, proud to be #1 in California and #2 in the nation.
It's you. It's me. It's us.
Welcome back to Gerson Pavilion, taking a look at the Waves as we make our way through this media timeout. Gary, again, I feel like a broken record, but I get ready to ask, what can the Lions do better? Thinking that we're knotted up at 45, but we're not. Lions have a 7-point lead. It just doesn't feel like they're really controlling this game.
Well, and I think part of the reason is that the Waves are 1 for their last 10, yet they're only down 7, right? So, but for those shots not going in, this would be a very different game, and we still have a challenge on our hands here for the Lions to be able to control the boards. It was our first key to the game, and they really haven't done it. The offensive board differential is 14-2. It's ridiculous. That's my assessment, technical assessment.
That's your Gary Craig assessment, brought to you by Gary Craig and Associates. Gordon to pull up two. She's been quiet today.
And again, no offensive boards for the Lions, all going the Waves' way.
Offensive foul down low on Obima.
Well, that was a very fortunate call because she definitely had position, and maybe she got it by extending her arm. That'll be 4 on her.
So Brody back in the game. Brody with 3 herself right now.
Well, and they only had 8 active players to start the game.
I ask another question that probably can't be answered. What happens if both teams get down to less than 5 players?
Well,
what happens if one team does?
It's a good question. I think maybe they can play with 4.
I should know the answer to this. However, I never thought I'd ever even have to conceive of it happening.
It won't happen to the Lions just because they have so many players on the bench, which is really an unusual situation. They're normally the shorthanded team. The Waves could be in that spot, but I don't think we'll get there.
Mark, up and under.
Nice. Alexis Mark with a quick 9 points. Oh, sorry, 11. That bucket counted for 11.
Kick ball out of bounds on the baseline for the Waves.
Oh, good closeout by Gordon.
Brumfield was about to fire away. That was a good 3.5 feet. Brody blocked from behind, but a foul's called.
Is that going to be 4 on Amaya
Oliver?
Oliver?
It is going to be 4 on Amaya Oliver. And it's going to bring Kari Clark back in the game just as... Oh, change of plans. Ava Toon coming in.
Well, when you said that, I was a little surprised because Kari Clark's sitting on 4 fouls. So with a whole quarter left to play, a lot of players in serious foul trouble.
Brody's free throw is good and just extending her career high as far as she can go at this point.
The Waves are not going away, Brendan. Keep in mind, they made a pretty significant comeback against BYU in Provo, I believe.
They did.
So they know they can bring it when they have to. They're not going to be worried about the score going into the 4th.
The first win in Provo for this Waves program. Good board by Ava Toon. Keeps the possession alive for the Lions.
But only 10 seconds. Shot clock did not reset.
Johnson a pull-up. Jay, and it's in. Knock it down, Ari Johnson. 1 minute to go in the 3rd quarter. We still have a whole other 10 minutes of basketball left. Waba. Good defense by Toon. Double team down low and fouled.
They had her pinned, a double team on the baseline, and somehow Waba snuck through.
Well, you always told me as a kid, if you're going to guard the baseline, you got to use it as an extra defender. Put that foot on the line. You're not getting past.
No. But in the heat of the moment, sometimes lose track of some of those fundamentals.
Oh, trust me, there's a reason I heard it from you so much, because I didn't do it. So let me just say, I'm not blaming anybody, however, just more sharing the knowledge.
Those are good times.
Waba goes 2 for 2. 7-point game. Again, maybe the Lions can run a little box or X. What did you call it?
Yeah, we had an X play, but that was against a zone defense and the Waves playing man-to-man.
All right, so when they come in zone, I'll let you go over there and call the play, huh?
I'll let Coach Hughes call the plays.
Second personal on Waba, 15 foul. Free throws for the remaining 39 seconds.
Coach Hughes has forgotten more basketball than I've ever known.
Folks, he says this all the time, but we go after the game and he'll have a conversation with Coach Hughes talking like it's some sort of scientific equation, and I couldn't tell you what they're talking about.
Yeah, well, if that's true, she's the teacher and I'm the student.
Got to learn some way, right?
So back to the action.
If I had a Socrates quote right now, I'd give it to you, Gary. Feels appropriate. 57-49, Ari Johnson, Alexis Mark to the bench for the final seconds. A steal by Layla Curry. She brings a chance to the Lions here. They got to slow down, take their time.
15 seconds on the shot clock. I hope they recognize it.
15-second difference between game and shot. Only 7 seconds. A three from Rodriguez, and that's massive.
Did you see her hold her shot? She was posing. She knew that was going in, and now it's an 11-point lead.
At the most opportune time, an astronomical shot from Nicole Rodriguez. And a foul's called on Cassie Gordon.
Oh, wow. That is really unfortunate. The Lions were building that momentum with the great Layla Curry steal, the Rodriguez three. Not sure if they'll see a replay. Maybe Cassie Gordon got her hand in there?
Not sure. I'm still blinded by Nicole Rodriguez's 5th three. That's all she shot today, Gary. 5 threes, 5 of 9 from downtown. Take a look.
Let's see. Where's the foul? Where's the foul? I didn't see it.
It's all about the angles. I think Michael Murray had a interesting angle on that one, maybe not the best one.
Walls has all her points from the line.
Rodriguez blocked by Walls on the half-court heat, and it sends us to the fourth with the Lions leading by 9, 60-51. 10 more minutes of the PCH Cup coming up after the break. Second chance points, 10-point difference.
I know. That's what I keep talking about. And the offensive rebounds, 11 difference.
13 seconds to go.
Look at that. 13 turnovers to 4.
And welcome back. 10 more minutes to go here from Gersten. Costly turnover there from the Lions.
Not
start
the way,
things off.
yeah,
Yes.
not the way to start the fourth.
Not at all.
They're nursing a 9-point lead. The Waves are not going to go away, despite the fact that they've got so many players in foul trouble. Key players for their team. They're going to play these final 9:45 as strong as they played the prior 30.
Banifo back in for the Waves with those 4 fouls. Obima still on the bench. Walls has not seen a minute of break, neither has Waba, as Walls goes to the hoop. Is that her first field goal?
Yeah, it is.
That's her first field
and
goal.
It's 4 on Destiny Samuel.
So 10 points for Walls today. First 8 came from the line. She'll have a chance at a 3-point play. Bring the Waves within 6.
This would be an extraordinary victory for the Waves if they pull it out, and a just crushing loss for the Lions.
We talked about it. A loss today not only affects the PCH Cup standings and the rivalry and the bragging rights, but a loss today and a Santa Clara win, which we'll check on in a moment, would lock whoever loses today into the 9 or the 10 seed. Both teams here locked in to the bottom 4 in the conference. Will play day number 1 in Vegas, but a loss and a Santa Clara win, they're in the bottom 2 for sure.
And that's part of it, but the other part of it for me is the Waves are depleted, star players in foul trouble. The Lions have every advantage. They can't afford to lose this game. Alexis Mark goes for the steal, doesn't get it. Mabanifo with a wonderful drive to the boot. When she's out there, she's a difference maker. Unfortunately, she just can't be out there very long, so she has not been able to contribute the way we would expect her to.
Santa Clara did fall in overtime today, so a loss does not lock them into the bottom 2 here. Timeout called on the floor.
So, Brendan, we're looking at the score earlier, and looks like you said Santa Clara was able to come away with the victory. Here we're seeing
Take a look at today's key moment in the game, brought to you by University Credit Union.
Oh, a wonderful pass by Gordon to the sprinting Alexis Mark. Watch Cassie Gordon make a great pass. Alexis Mark straight to the hoop. We're going to need to see some more of that for the Lions in this final quarter.
And that was today's key moment, brought to you by University Credit Union. So an early media timeout here, which really means, other than coach called timeouts, it's full steam ahead for the next 8:30.
Yeah, both teams have plenty of timeouts left, but we're only now a minute 30 into the fourth quarter, and the Lions have given up 5 of their 9-point lead. And I say the Lions gave it up, but you know what? The Waves took it, right? Marley Walls with the great drive and the foul. The Lions are going to have to step it up here if they want to be able to come away with the victory. Again, the stat that keeps jumping out at me is the disparity in offensive rebounds, 14 for the Waves to 3 for the Lions. Second chance points, 15 for the Waves to 5 for the Lions. Going to be a Lion ball. 13 on the shot clock.
Rodriguez to inbound, and here we go. 8:30 to go in this fourth quarter.
The Waves are back into a zone defense. Rodriguez, an open 3. Oh, that would have been a clutch 3 for her to knock down.
Can't get it to go. Walls the other way. She'll drive inside, contact and a foul. Counted in the foul.
So they could knock this to a 1-point lead. What was 9 at the half in less than 2 minutes could be down to 1. And Marley Walls looking at possibly having her 6th point in this quarter.
Take a look at it again. I mean, Gordon was moving, but where are you supposed to go?
But you know what? Sometimes when you make the more aggressive move, you get the benefit of the call, and Walls did that. Walls now, all of a sudden, has really come on strong with her 14th point to lead her team in scoring.
Johnson's pass deflected in transition by Waba. Couple scores around the WCC. As we mentioned, Gonzaga came away with the win at home on senior night against the Gales, 65-51. Santa Clara fell to San Diego at home in overtime, 69-62. USF, a big victory at home against the Cougars of BYU, 72-59, makes things interesting in the top of the conference.
Certainly, and San Francisco is going to be here to close out the regular season next Saturday.
Santa Clara on Thursday, San Francisco on Saturday. So some interesting games for all of these teams in terms of seeding. Johnson lost her balance and throws it out of bounds.
So what was a 9-point lead is down to 1. All the energy, all the momentum is with the Waves right now. The Lions need a spark from somewhere. Usually that's Alexis Mark with a defensive play, a breakaway fast break, something like that.
Waves with a chance for the lead on this possession with a bucket. Does it come from Brody? It does. 3 straight. 3 straight and 1 opportunities for the Waves, and it's Clark's 5th, and she's done.
So really a stunning turn of events here to begin the 4th quarter. The Waves are on an 11-0 run, if my math is right. They were down 9, and now they're up 1.
Ari Johnson out of the game. Aspen Adams back in action. A defeated look on the Lion bench right now, Gary.
Well, understandably, because they've been outscored by at least 11. I thought it was 12, but at least 11 to start off this 4th and final quarter. They have yet to scratch while the Waves have been converting on everything.
Brody puts the Waves ahead by 2, 62-60. Oliver looks off the mid-range. Jay will take this one. No good. Rebound by Mark.
Great pass.
Oliver goes up and is fouled by Brody. Make it 4 on KK Brody.
There have been 2 times in this game when the Lions were in complete control. Up 13 in the 2nd and up 9 at the end of the 3rd going into the 4th. And both times the Waves have obliterated the lead.
Brian Rosario, acting head coach, forced to trade foul trouble for foul trouble as Brody sits with 4, but Obima back in with 4 of her own.
So there's 4 players on the floor right now with 4 fouls apiece, and there's still 7 minutes left in the game.
Maya Oliver, another one of those players in foul trouble with 4. Alexis Mark with 4. Rodriguez and Gordon and Adams with 3. Oliver can't convert on either free throw, and those points are going to matter in the stretch of this game.
Overall, the Lions are shooting okay from the line, but at the end of the game, it really makes a difference.
Waba shot off the mark, rebound by the Waves. Brumfield, no good. High board by Rodriguez.
And Rodriguez just wanted that more.
Mark steps around and is fouled by Brumfield.
Brumfield not had any fouls to this point.
Is she the only player?
No, Hoff also has managed to stay out of foul trouble. And Noelle Yancey, who didn't have much of a run, managed to be outside of foul trouble. But on the whole, we've got 49 fouls called so far. 30 against the Lions, 19 against the Waves.
Tell you what, someone's going to be making a run to Best Buy for some new whistles after this one. These things are running to the ground.
Again, right now, the Lions are 0 for 3 so far, I believe, in this in this quarter from the line. That cannot continue.
If I just said Best Buy, I meant Big 5, but you know what I meant. Mark can't hit either. That's 4 straight missed free throws, and it was something Coach talked about today working on, and it's not coming to fruition today. Obima, the offensive board, back up, no good. Gets her own rebound, can't get it to fall. That's 5 on Amaya Oliver.
But it's second chance opportunities, offensive rebounds. That has been the Achilles heel for the Lions all game. She's going to get her own rebound and then get fouled.
So Kari Clark is done, Amaya Oliver is done. Ava Toon will be certainly getting some extra minutes here.
And Destiny Samuel, the last big remaining, has 4 fouls.
On the line for Pepperdine number 15, Becky Oliva, 2 shots.
Still got 6:31 to go. Obima can't hit the first. A chance to make it a 3-point game on this shot. No can do.
Ari Johnson's a player I look to step up in these moments.
As she has it taken away, and here comes Obima on the fast break. Mark's got to be careful. She's got 4 fouls as well.
Quick hands by Nwaba.
Almond, quick hands as well.
You know, the Waves' poor shooting in this quarter, 0 for their last 4, is what's kept the Lions so close. Lions have yet to get a point in this quarter.
Banfo, no good. Obima
That'll
over
be
the
5.
back. That's 5 on her. She'll hit the bench. So the third player to foul out is Becky Obima. And KK Brody will have to come back in with 4 of her own. So Banfo and Brody playing with 4 fouls. So is Mark.
I'd like to see Sequoia Ahmed take Brumfeld. It's just a mismatch in speed.
Johnson works inside to the cup. Just short.
The Lions still can't score in this quarter.
And Banifo can't score either. Toon finds the rebound.
But the Pepperdine Waves have 11 points in this quarter, so if neither team scores again, the Lions are not going to win. Lions have to score.
A long 3. Almond can't open the scoring. Rodriguez gets the long board.
A rare offensive rebound and second chance opportunity for the Lions. They needed it.
Johnson dribbling the shot clock way down. Not a lot of time for a chance here.
Another turnover by the Lions. They've had 2 turnovers in the last 3 times down the floor.
Not a smart play by Ari Johnson. Lions talk about ball movement so much, and there was 1 pass on that entire possession after the offensive board.
Lions have to toughen up the defense here. They need a stop, and then they need a bucket.
Banifo, too hard. Waba's there. No foul called. Lots of bodies hitting the deck, and the Waves will get another opportunity, or will they? 2 seconds. Walls fires away. No good.
Good box out.
That saved the Lions from another offensive board on the Waves side. Timeouts called by Coach Hughes and the Lions.
30 seconds.
We'll step aside. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Gershon Pavilion. 4:07 to go, and we really haven't seen scoring in the last 4 minutes at this point. Haven't seen the Lions score all quarter, but the Waves have gone cold as well.
Well, that's the thing. The Waves can afford not to score if the Lions can't score. The Waves are up 11-0 in the quarter so far. they've been having this 2-point lead for the longest time.
Offense has gone very stagnant for the Lions.
It's time for Alexis Mark or Ari Johnson to take over.
Mark inside, fouls called, counted in the bucket. So it gets her the bucket and it sends Vanderfo to the bench for the remainder of the game. 5 fouls for her. Odabumi into the game now in place from Vanderfo. So not a lot of options for Brian Rosario. He's got one more player on his bench, Haley Hoff.
So Brendan, I hate to make a bold statement like this, but these are must-make free throws at this point.
And Mark knocks it down. 1-point lead for the Lions.
From here on in, the Lions need to convert their free throws.
Defense chance come from the Lion crowd. Brody inside, disrupted by Johnson and into the hands of Toon.
Good quick hands. Ari Johnson and Ava Toon in there. Toon comes away with it.
3:20 to go in the contest. Johnson, shimmy shake, can't get a shot off. Mark, the kick back to Toon, elbow 2 is good.
Good passing, right? You've been talking about that. The offense was stagnant. It's been moving the ball, moving the players, much better flow.
From Brooklyn with love, Ava Toon, one of the biggest buckets of her Lion career to put the Lions up by 3.
Sequoia Almond's been doing a good job on Marley Walls.
Brumfield throws up a 3 off the mark.
That was over the back, but no call.
Loud defense chance.
Marley Walls splits a double team.
Teardrop rolls home. And a timeout called by Brian Rosario. We'll keep it right here on the court as you take a look at the Marley Walls, who has come to life in this second half. And we said it, she struggled in the first. She's had to do everything for this squad today, and she has done it.
So she has, I mean, look, she's shooting 3 for 12 from the field, but 10 for 14 from the line. On that last play, something that should really never happen happened. She split a double team at the top of the key. Just like we talked about earlier when the Lions weren't able to use their double team at the baseline, a double team at the top of the key, a player should not be able to penetrate that with the dribble. You got to close out, you got to be shoulder to shoulder to prevent that. But Walls is a great player. She's finding ways to get it done. She also has 6 boards and 5 assists.
And we talk about Walls, but let's look at KK Brody as well. The freshman has had to show up today, averaging 2.6 points, 12 minutes of action. She's got 16 points on 6 of 11, 4 rebounds, and 4 for 5 from the charity stripe.
Yeah, let's not overlook the 3 important threes from Brumfield, who only recently has started to miss.
Johnson mishandles it inside, lucky for Lions to get it back.
Alexis Mark tried to do a backdoor, but she wasn't open. Waves cover on defense.
Whistle blown, foul called on Brumfield. It's going to be her second personal. It'll put the Lions at the line for the remainder of the game. So again, we talk about the free throw shooting being crucial, and here it comes to play. They're 64% so far today. Coach wants to see them at 76. Layla Curry into the game. Sequoia Almond takes a seat.
Ari Johnson is the kind of player you want at the line in these clutch situations.
Johnson's first is good.
So it looks like Nicole Rodriguez will probably draw the defensive assignment on Walls again.
Second Rado's home.
Oh, no, Layla Curry's going to draw that assignment.
I've talked about her defense all season. It's a spark for this Lions team at times.
I think Curry had that big turnover at the end of the third.
That was going to be called on the floor, but either way, it's sending the Waves to the bonus. So free throws the rest of the way. Every whistle you hear, that's a foul. It'll be at the line for both squads. Sequoia Almond back in. Layla Curry takes a seat.
What was the foul?
I believe it was on Curry. Little hand check arm to the arm of Walls. Walls can't hit from the line. One more opportunity here to draw the Waves within 2.
This will be her 16th free throw attempt.
Converts on the second. 1:52 to go.
Waves come out with token full court pressure, but immediately retreat.
Lions certainly want a bucket, but also want to run a little clock off here.
Got to give a lot of credit to both Walls and Waba, who played the whole game without a break.
Well, and they really, I mean, from my vantage point, don't look tired. I'm
No.
sure they are.
No, they don't look tired at all. They may not be. They just are well conditioned.
Pull up, Jay Ari Johnson.
We've been missing that since she's been out.
Ari Jumper Johnson with a massive bucket. Toon, arms in the air. Brody steps around and gets it to go.
Brody has 18 now. She's the leading scorer in the game.
1 minute, 1 minute remaining in regulation.
1 minute to go. Lions lead by 2.
Certainly has been an exciting game down here at the wire. Little two-person game with Mark and Johnson down to 5.
Johnson doesn't get a shot off, bailed out by the foul.
With 1 second left on the clock.
Ooh.
That was dicey at the end of the shot clock.
Third personal on Brumfield, team limit. Johnson at the line looking to extend it to a 2-possession game. And Brian Rosario signals he will call a timeout after this. First is in and good.
Ari Johnson trying to catch up to Walls. She's now shooting her 12th free throw. Walls has shot 16.
Johnson's second is good.
Nothing but the bottom of the net.
71-67, 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here on the floor.
So, Brendan, you got to give a lot of credit to Ari Johnson. She's really working her way back into game shape. And in this second half, and particularly the latter part of the fourth quarter, she's been the difference for the Lions.
She absolutely has. And let's take a look at some Ari Johnson highlights. We talked about it at half. She was had a quiet first half, and she was going to need to step up, and she has here in the second.
And that was in the first half. She had that nice floater. Here's another drive with a spin move. We saw that earlier in the game. And then here in the fourth quarter, she's just made her presence known, both from the field and from the line.
But she can shoot from any place on the court. She can create her own shot, which in the time that she was out, the Lions were really missing. There's 2 players on this team that I'd say can create their own shot. Sequoia Almond, Ari Johnson. And when they're both out, the Lions really have a tough time on the offensive end.
Yeah, and let's see if the Lions can come away with a stop here. The Waves are never going to give up based on how they've played all season long.
Samuel is going to draw the defensive assignment on Walls as Waba sneaks around and gets the bucket in. Timeout called by Coach Hughes and the Lions.
That was just too easy. I'm not sure what the plan was on the defensive end. I'm actually surprised Rodriguez was not in to start that play because of her defense on Walls.
Full timeout, 60 seconds. A 1-possession game, Lions lead by 2. They need a bucket here, Gary.
Look at this, Brendan. We got to take stock of, Nwaba has 11, Walls has 17, but combined they're 5 for 23 from the field. But where the difference is, Waba's 7 for 7 from the line. Ooh, look at that play.
KK Brody, a pass from from Walls was fantastic, but KK Brody has been absolutely phenomenal for this Waves team. A breakout game from her, and this is what she can bring every time. I think she plays the rest of the season with significant minutes.
Well, I think we talked about that at the beginning, which is, was somebody from the Waves going to step up into an uncharacteristic role? She's done it, but she hasn't been alone because Brumfield has a clutch 9 points. But I want to go back to the point about the disparity in field goal percentage for Waba and Walls versus free throw line. For the free throw line, they're 18 for 23 combined. So that's a huge part of the reason that the Waves have managed to stay in this game despite being with a short bench and in foul trouble.
0.6 of a second difference between game and shot clock. First thing here is the Lions got to get the ball in.
Yeah, and Brody is a big person to defend on Aspen Adams.
Walls is going to commit the first foul here, only her second personal.
It's kind of interesting that they would choose the foul so early. I know they're down 2, but I thought they might have tried to get a steal a little bit longer before they went ahead and did the foul. Alexis Mark, a big 14 points to go along with 6 rebounds and 3 assists so far in this game.
Samuel and Curry into the game, Almond and Adams to the bench, offense for defense. First is pure from Alexis Mark.
I don't know if you remember, but there was a point when Alexis Mark was shooting a free throw to make a 3-point play, and I said it was clutch free throw time. They've been delivering.
And she delivers there.
Since that time, I don't think they've missed one.
Big free throws. Waves are going to look for a quick bucket. It's Waba inside, rims out, gets her on rebound, back up, a 3-point play.
That was probably the last thing the Lions could afford to give up. And you know what they got it on? An offensive rebound and a second chance opportunity. That's been a very bad part of this game for the Lions. No one put a body on Waba.
They're going to say 4th personal foul on Mark. So she will stay in the game. Destiny Samuel takes a seat. So it's Curry, Johnson, Mark, Gordon, Rodriguez. Waba misses, rebound by Brumfield. Waves with a chance to tie or take the lead. It's Brumfield. Can't get it to fall. Rodriguez gets the board and a timeout's called by Coach Hughes.
The number of offensive rebounds the Waves have gotten on free throws is astounding. I almost would say astronomical. I don't know if it's quite that, but it's high.
So while you may be thinking, why would Coach Hughes call that foul? They were about to, why would she call that timeout? They're about to get fouled. It advances the ball, takes some more time off the clock. Take a look, Alexis Mark coming up huge here for the Lions.
And there was that beautiful lead pass by Gordon, the finish by Alexis Mark.
And what we aren't going to see in this highlight package are the clutch free throws she's made. She still has some clutch ones to potentially make here in the final seconds of this one. Still a 1-possession game. The Lions, if there's not a steal, will get fouled, and they need to make both free throws.
But as you said, they got to get the ball in first. I want to give a shout out to Nwaba. She's been balling out in this latter part of the 4th quarter.
Whistle blown, there's the foul. It'll be Almond to the line.
You know, if you could bottle the intensity that Waba's been playing with in this last part of the game and distribute it to players across the NCAA, you'd see a lot better basketball.
So Sequoia Almond, 2 shots from the line.
58 total fouls so far in this game.
First is good from Almond, makes it a 3-point game.
Shout out to Coach Hughes, who talked about working on free throws in practice for just this type of a situation.
Almond can't hit the second. Johnson fighting for the board. Jump ball. It'll be Lion ball.
Clutch hustle play by Ari Johnson, and a very rare offensive rebound.
They're going to review, I would imagine, to see how much time.
They also will be double checking to confirm that it was off the waves. Or do you say it was a jump ball?
I'm not sure. Maybe they did say it was off the waves. I'm not quite sure. The way the bench reacted, it seemed like it was jump ball, but we'll see what the signal is. That missed free throw is big right now. You have someone like Drea Brumfield who's been knocking him down from the logo. If this is Waves ball.
Yeah, I mean, the significance of it is it's the difference between a one possession and a two possession game. 6.5 seconds left. The other thing the Lions have to be sensitive to is the need to get rebounds, right? They can't just lose sight of their mission, which is to control the boards. This replay review gives the Lions a chance to set their defense, also gives the Waves a chance to catch their breath. You know, as much as it would have been more comfortable for the Lions to have a 20-point lead, certainly has been an exciting finish for this game.
No chance that it hasn't been exciting. And I think the fans that are here are loving it. We have a good crowd out here for Family Weekend, and they've brought some energy and I think brought life to this team in times when they were kind of at their lowest.
Well, I got a notification on my watch that it was a loud environment, and we don't get that as much as we'd like to, and so I'm glad to see it today.
Hey, if you're watching this at home and you can come on out, we'll take less viewers on the broadcast. It's okay. You won't hurt our feelings. We'd love to have you in person. 2 more chances.
So it looks like it will be Lion ball out of bounds.
They're still checking it out right now. We'll see. I'm surprised they let the teams back on the court. And then there's the signal. They're going to clear him off the court. Corey Long will send both teams back to their benches. They're still reviewing.
I had judged it by virtue of the way the players were lining up, but I think that was premature.
Michael Murray, Corey Long, Sidney Mott discussing. As you can see the replay in the background, it doesn't look like Odabumi's out. So I'm not sure what the call would be if she actually wasn't out. It is going to stay Lion ball. So take a look at it again. Odabumi with it, and it must have bounced out right there. Oh, good catch by Corey Long. I couldn't have seen that in real time, no chance.
Key, though, to get an inbounds pass.
That's the most important part right now. Almond struggling to find it. She gets it to Mark, and Mark will be at the line. 2 massive free throws for Alexis Mark.
And remember, the Waves still have a timeout, so expect them to take it, make or miss.
Layla Curry back in. Ava Chu takes a seat.
Walls look to be confirming with coach that they'll take in a timeout.
Mark's first is in, a 2-possession game, barring a foul on a 3.
Alexis Mark now up to 17 points.
Mark's second is good. A true 2-possession game in the hands of the Lions. 5.5 seconds to go. If you're the Waves, what are you trying for?
Well, you got to try for a quick bucket. It doesn't have to be a 3 because it's 2 possessions, right? So you could do a 2 and then a 3. You just got to get it very quick. What the Lions need to do, what I'm sure coach is talking about, is do not foul. That would be the worst thing the Lions could do right now, is give up points from the free throw line.
Hey, it's a doubleheader Saturday here in Los Angeles on the Bluff tonight. You catch the men's basketball team taking on the Pacific Tigers. That game at 7 p.m. with Jesse Cass here on the WCC Network. And we talked about this game being crucial for seeding that game as well. Right now, the Tigers with the tiebreaker, 1 game behind the Lions, and lots of shifting going on at the top of the conference on the men's side. Here on this side, we're looking at the bottom shifting around for these 2 squads, and a lot on the line here with this game.
Yeah, you know, we talk about March Madness, but I think there's a little bit of February frenzy going on right now as teams are jockeying for that position, both for the conference tournament, where, you know, it's a one and done kind of situation, right? Any team can go all the way, and the stakes really couldn't be higher as you close out the season.
Well, and this conference has been all sorts of up and down, excluding Gonzaga and Portland. From number 3 down to number 10, it has fluctuated every single day. We see San Francisco take out BYU. We saw Santa Clara take out Gonzaga. I mean, any day in this conference, you're going to find something shocking.
Key inbounds pass here.
Walls driving baseline, 2 seconds, 1 left. Blocked by Johnson. That's going to do it, and the Lions get the victory. The PCH Cup is theirs.
What a block by Ari Johnson. What a finish for the Lions. They needed this one. The Waves put up a valiant effort. You got to give them props. But the Lions came through with a clutch win.
A gutsy win for the Lions here on Black History Month celebration, 76-71. We'll be back, and we'll be joined by Coach Tamara McDonald after for our post-game discussion. We'll see you in just a moment. We still have a little bit of time before. We'll do one question about the game, team's resilience, and then we'll jump in. We'll jump into your time at Pepperdine, the meaning of this Black History game, and looking forward as there's 2 massive games coming up for seeding in the conference. Those final stats. If you want final stats, Coach. Welcome back to Gerson Pavilion. Lions come away with the rivalry win, 76-71, a massive win for a lot of reasons, and we'll talk to Coach Tamara McDonald about it here today. Coach, congrats on the win, first off, beating your alma mater, and we'll get to that in a second, but I want to hear from you about your team's resiliency here today. There were a lot of times, particularly in the start of the fourth quarter, where they could have just let this one slip away, but they fought back. What did you see from your perspective, and how can it translate as you guys head into conference tournament play?
Well, first of all, I think Pepperdine is such a good team and such a dangerous team. So it required us to really focus for the week and really look at ways in which we can use some of the skills that we had and some of the assets that we had to attack their bigs. I mean, they're very physical. And so sort of creating that environment and getting ourselves ready for that very physical game was part of our game plan. And I think it worked out. Our kids even though at times it got away from us, we were able to reel in our emotions and use that to the best of our ability to really get to the free throw line. And I think Alexis Smart closing it out at the free throw line was the pretty much the scenario we've been drawing up every day in practice.
Well, and Coach Hughes talked to us about that at shoot-around. Free throw shooting was going to be crucial.
Absolutely.
And it slipped away in the beginning, but the composure that was gained down the stretch was really impressive to watch from the girls.
Yeah, it was just such a high energy game, and I think both teams have a lot of respect for each other, but sometimes when you want to compete so bad, you forget about the rules, and I think both teams kind of fouled a lot. So I could imagine there's not a lot of games in the country where one team shoots 41 free throws and the other team shoots 35. So I think at the end, we did a really good job of getting to the line and making our free throws down the stretch. But I think part of our growth was getting to the free throw line. and not settling for mid-range jumpers or threes in the fourth quarter, doing the hard work. It started with Ari Johnson. It's great to have her back on the court. But getting to the free throw line and kind of closing out the game the old school way.
Well, and in a rivalry game like this, you brought up the energy, the emotion that comes with it. It's a rivalry you played in as WCC Player of the Year over here back in the day at Pepperdine.
Way back.
What's it like to play in a game like this, in an environment like this, where you got two teams really jockeying for it, who really want to win, after, not to mention, a really chippy game up in Malibu earlier in the season?
Yeah, I think the one thing we really wanted to do is come out and give them our best game. And we left Malibu feeling like we didn't do that. And losing Alexis Mark midway through the game, not having Ari Johnson, as well as a host of other kids just coming in and out from injuries, it was really, we didn't have a full squad, and they just played great. So coming back here on our home turf, family weekend, in front of our families and friends, we wanted to be able to do our job to show people really our growth and where we've come as a team. So I think we did a really good job of that, just playing team basketball, and that's really what it's all about.
And I'm sure it's weird for you to now be on the opposite side of this rivalry. You could have never liked LMU in your time there, but now you're coaching for them. So what's it like to be in this position, coaching against an alma mater where you were such a star player?
Well, I'll start by saying I don't think I was a star player. I had a great
Give
team.
yourself some credit, Cam.
Well, I think I'm, by history, you can look this up, but I might have been the lowest scoring MVP. And I think what that says is it really speaks to the team and the women that I play with. We were very balanced. And so coming across, PCH to play LMU, playing the Bryn Brittens of the world, Rosa Bernasconi, Adrian Slaughter, Mary Turner, I could keep going on and on and on. The Zeman twins, it was tough. They were physical, they were athletic, and even though, if my memory serves me correct, we were on the winning side of that for the majority of my 4 years, quickly LMU creeped in and took over as I was exiting the conference. And so trying to restore that in our own girls, understanding that there's a sense of pride when you play this game. I was on the other side of it, but you have to bring your A game when you play your cross-town rivalry. And I think today with a full, I think this is the first time we had a full roster.
Yes, it is.
It is the first time all year. So that's just really a good sign for us, showing you what we can do with a full bench.
And lastly, Coach, a lot to play for here today. It's never just the game. Today was the Black History Month game. Talk to me about what that means to you, hearing the Black National Anthem before the game and just being able to celebrate the heritage that so many of our girls are a part of.
Yeah, actually, it's as I reflect, just thinking about when I played, we didn't have these type of games. And so, and also just looking at the demographics of women's basketball and how highly represented Black women are, and so few Black women coaches are out there. I do think that we've come a long way. We're not where we need to be, but just to see LMU honor, the Black community, as well as support Black coaches and really do what they can on and off the court to make sure this is a safe environment for African American students. I think that's really important to still see that transcend into resources and time spent on celebrating our community and doing it the right way, asking the right people to be involved. I really think that just shows you where we've come. And I want to just credit Craig Penton as well as Ashley Armstrong and the support from our administration to do things the right way. So it really means a lot. I think when you give a lot to a community and a school, you don't want to ask to be valued. And so I think LMU does a good job all the way from President Snyder to our athletic administration, just making sure that there's visibility on this campus.
Coach, it's been a pleasure to have you over here and talk with you. Always great to have you. Congrats on the win. We know you won't be totally celebrating it, but we'll see you back here next week, Thursday and Saturday, Santa Clara, San Francisco. Big games coming up.
Appreciate you. Thank you, my guy.
Thank you,
Thanks
Coach. On behalf of our entire team, we'll wrap things up here. Men's game coming up next. Our executive producer, Kevin Pineda, my co-commentator, Gary Craig, producer, Caitlin Lucker, director, John Powell, our engineer in command, Jeff. I'm Brendan Craig. This has been a presentation of LMU women's basketball on the WCC Network. So long from the Bluff. We'll see you back here next Thursday.